hello, and welcome to the stream today. Quite interesting topics, to be honest, to discuss. All of them will be kinda unexpected ones for me personally, overall. Some of them I kinda expected, some of them genuinely came out of this world. And I must say, it is quite insane what kind of things tend to happen very out of the blue. Like, legitimately, like rain out of clear sky, lightning out of clear sky, all that different stuff. And I must say, Arsenal City, no matter what is happening, it is actually quite insane, if you ask me. And to be honest, it will be very interesting to discuss because it could affect Premier League in general. It could affect Man City and other clubs in general overall as well. Of course, just before we get into things, of course, like, comment, don't forget to get involved in the chat, like, so YouTube algorithm pushes the stream and video afterwards a bit more and all that good stuff. And to be honest, without further ado, let's start with Man City and then we're gonna move into Arsenal because I don't want to spend too much time on Manchester City because, well, let's be real, I don't want to talk about them too much. It will be very interesting to discuss, but not too much, of course. But then we get into Arsenal transfer news, potential signings, potential players. Again, we've been linked with, and potentially some players we could be linked with, which I would love to see at Arsenal, of course. And today we are kicking things off with, of course, as I said, Manchester City. And it's all starting off that Manchester City are taking legal action against the Premier League. It generally broke yesterday. It was so unexpected. It was actually insane, if you ask me. But overall, yeah, Manchester City are attempting to end the Premier League's associated party transaction rules. Are attempting to end because after 3 years ago, when Newcastle got taken over, they implemented certain rules that at this stage kind of heavily affect Man City and Newcastle more specifically. Those rules regard commercial and sponsorship deals with companies owned or associated with the same club's owners. Basically, let's just say Man City owners own Apple, right? They don't have enough money. They say, well, Apple give us 1 billion for transfers, and nobody could say anything. And they are against that, basically. The financial issue is a big thing here. And as things stand, those rules dictate such transactions have to be independently assessed to be of fair market value. So basically, nobody can buy a team. They have like billions of assets and they can dump them these assets into their own team and nobody can do anything about it. Basically, it's kind of try to limit that, the power, money and everything to kind of make teams unstoppable juggernauts. In a way, City are at the moment. And the Times, who first broke the news on Tuesday, reports that City believe the rules are unlawful and they want to seek damages for revenue lost by preventions made by those rules, which is kind of ironic that City are claiming to have trying to get money for stuff they already have money more and more. And the newspaper quotes a 165-page legal document in which City argue they are the victims of discrimination. That is kind of pathetic. But yeah, the rule was brought in December 2021 as Newcastle was bought by the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund, obviously. And that was just to stop that. The legal dispute will be settled during 2-week arbitration hearing beginning on Monday, June 10th. So basically next Monday, everything kicks off. But this is overall a thing that it's very interesting and very weird in a way, because this affects specifically City and Newcastle the most, or pretty much at all. In a way, Chelsea as well, I would say, potentially the most. And yeah, they want to limit that, which makes actually quite a bit of sense in a way that Man City, if this rule wasn't a thing, could dump infinite amounts of money into the club and nothing could do anything about it. They already have 115 charges that they're gonna be hearing is in November and all that stuff. But more importantly, some of the charges in those 115 charges they are accused of from years so and so are regarding this specific rule. In a way that they have used this rule, this loophole in the rule, just to make them team. Which, to be honest, if Man City win this argument, this specifically for against Premier League, they will use this winning argument also in the same court they're gonna use when they're gonna have this arbitration reading hearings and all that stuff about the 115 charges, which will be this will be one of the let's just say yardsticks they're gonna stood on, and it will be very hard to knock off from there. And the issue is also that the City have infinite amounts of money, and let's be real, the fact that they have that, they can hire the best lawyers. It could drag out. It couldn't be just a 2-week thing, but they will try to drag this out as much as possible. And if they win against Premier League, the league could suffer massively, because there have also been rumors that 12 clubs from Premier League are standing with Premier League against Manchester City, and there is one club who is siding with Manchester City. And you could take some guesses which club that most likely is. Obviously, most likely it is Newcastle, because those two clubs are most directly affected by this rule. And on the other side, nobody knows who's standing on their side. I would assume some of the smaller clubs and some of the bigger clubs. But overall, this will be a very interesting June 10th to June 24th, these 2 weeks, especially with the hearing and the final ruling from the judge at the end, of course. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with that. But this is not looking good for City. Let's be real. It looks like one desperate another attempt to maybe try to get some extra cases for the 115 charges to help them not stick and everything. So it will be interesting. They're kind of trying to abuse their power, and they will try to do it again and again and again. They like the big boy on the block who is the bully and bullies every single team and every single kid in the block, and they are doing that in Premier League. They are the big kid on the block who bullies every single other team, and they think that they are over Premier League. They are bigger than the Premier League itself, which never is gonna happen. Never ever is gonna happen. No club is bigger than the league, and they are, to be honest, they are not made organically. They're inorganically made club, and that will be the biggest thing they're gonna discuss in this. But overall, yeah, this is a very interesting point. We will have to wait and see what happens with that. And to add to things, Man City chairman Khaldoun Al Mubarak, I'm sorry if I butchered that, obviously, on charges being mentioned alongside success. It's frustrating. There is a process we have to go through. I've always repeated, let's be judged by the facts and not by claims and counterclaims, which kind of makes them say that they are innocent. But where there's smoke, there's fire. And if you have so many charges that you cannot be innocent, yes, you can make them not stick. You can find a loophole in the rules and kind of make them go away. But if there is something to be standing on, and if there is something behind this, there will be something behind this, because there is no chance that a team that has just barely been made has more commercial revenue than Real Madrid, or a club that's a royal club in the world who has one of the biggest fan bases in the world. For example, there is no chance they get more money than Real Madrid from commercials. No chance whatsoever. Let's be real. But anyways, enough about City. Nobody cares. Now we move into Arsenal, and that is the most important thing about this. And here we go. Girona to smash transfer record twice. Captain to depart, and Arsenal show interest in a forward. Basically, Alex Garcia has been linked with Bayer Leverkusen. So he actually might move there. It will be another like 15 million deal. But then for about 25 to 30 million, Arsenal are interested in the right winger Tsigankov. From Girona. That would break their bank twice, and if they have to sell Dovbyk, he would go for about 15 million. That would break them their bank once again. But overall, Arsenal are by looks of things, recently just popped up from yesterday and today. They are very, very interested in Tsigankov, and I'm not sure how deep this interest is, but there's definitely something behind that. Definitely they will try, if they are very interested, they will try attempt to do something with it. It will be very interesting to see if something happens or not, because that would be one of the biggest things. If something happens there, Tsigankov coming in as a backup for Bukayo Saka would be a very, very, very questionable one. Because for me, from what I've seen, he's a very inconsistent player. He has his ups and downs. He can shoot, he can pass, he can dribble, he can do all those things of sorts. He's 26 years old. The biggest thing about me is that he's not so inconsistent. Yes, he can cover Saka, he can cover Martin Odegaard. Technically, he can play on left wing as well. He has played in all those three positions for Girona. But for the season overall, like from what I've seen, I wouldn't give him above 7 out of 10. So he's nothing exceptional. I much rather to go and get Eze, who in interviews has said that his dream was to play for Arsenal, and that dream is still alive. If Arsenal wanted, they could easily go for him. We would sign. He would be a backup for Saka. He could play on the wing technically, and he would be a homegrown talent. He's an English guy, so definitely that would definitely also keep our quota up, because we, by the looks of things, are going to sell ESR, Edin Ketia, Ramsdale, Reece Nelson. That's 4 English players gone from our main squad, which definitely, if we sign Eze, that's already 1 player ticked off from those 4. So that definitely would be a good one. But Tsigankov, if we sign, we sign. But at the same time, it's not that an exciting signing that I would get so gassed about. Definitely. So that will be very interesting to see how this story develops, how everything goes. And it will be very interesting to see where it lands. And speaking of English quotas and everything, here it is. Arsenal stars not far from... Apparently Arsenal could be preparing for bidding war for Eddie Nketiah. Apparently 30 million is the price tag, and there are quite a bit of clubs in for them. Now, if I could just scroll and find it properly. Here we go. According to reports from the Sun. First things first. Sun, the worst place to go for news. But the fact that teams are interested in Nketiah, it's not from the Sun, it's a genuine interest. But here we go. Fulham will lead the race to secure Edin Nketiah. We already knew that. They also want Emil Smith-Rowe. Then there's Crystal Palace. There's Everton, interestingly enough, and there is Wolves as well. 4 teams are expressing interest. Fulham are reportedly willing to offer up to £30 million for the striker. £30 million for Edin Nketiah, bro. £30 million for Edin Nketiah. I will fly to London myself. I will fly to the Emirates and Colney and all that stuff. Take him, hire an Uber, or even rent a Lambo for a day, and drive him to Craven Cottage myself. Yeet him out the window into the lap of Marcos Silva, say goodbye, and be back to my home. Genuinely, 30 million, is that even a question? The fact is that Edin Nketiah is not a wall beater. He's not Arsenal's... he's not a savior. We subbed him on to score a goal against Bayern Munich in Champions League. That just shows how bad we are. We don't have a backup for strikers in general. And I must say, he has to go. He's not Premier Champions League level player. He's a mid-table Premier League team player, maybe lower end. Otherwise, he is not that good. Maybe, I don't know, who needs. Maybe Leeds can take him in Championship, although they have no money. So that will be very interesting how that goes. But Edin Nketiah, if we can sell him for 30 million, and that is pure profit as well, to be honest. So I would definitely take that. 4 clubs are interested. Allegedly, Arsenal preparing for a bidding war for him. The thing about this is, though, according to different reports, Arsenal are reluctantly willing to sell. How reluctantly you want to sell one of your, I don't want to be rude now, but worst performers in the team in general? A player, when he gets subbed on, oh, your defense is terrified with Nketiah in the room. Nobody is terrified. Nobody is terrified. Genuinely. Even cockroaches in my neighbor's basement are not terrified from Edin Nketiah. Come on, man. Just if there's a chance, take him, sell him, and peace out. Peace out. 30 million, take it and run. This one is a weird one. João Neves. Arsenal joined Chelsea, Manchester United in 102 million. 102 million. This is a hella weird one. 102 million. I don't believe he is that much worth. I think he's worth about 50, yes. 102, no chance in hell. However, he's from Portugal, he plays for Benfica, and we all know how big Benfica, Lisbon Sporting, Porto, and other teams are selling their players for. Just look at Enzo Fernandez, 115 million. So, yeah, he's one of the best youngsters Portugal has to offer at the moment, and he's in high demand for the top teams to strengthen the squads. He's going with Portugal to Euros 100%. It will be very interesting to see how he plays. He played for Portugal in Euro 2024 pre-tournament friendly against Finland, where they won 4-2 yesterday. Didn't watch the game, I just saw him that he's playing, but because this wasn't very relevant to me at that time, I just saw that this today. Genuinely today. And that is a very interesting one. He's a young, unproven, of course, in Premier League, but it will be very interesting if it happens. Arsenal reportedly the latest team to enter the 102 million. According to reports, Arsenal are not willing to sign very big players for very big money. At the same time, we need to sign a marquee player to kind of elevate the team in certain position, preferably a midfielder or a striker. So it doesn't look like it's going to be a striker. Most likely, it's more likely to be a midfielder. But 102 million for a player who is, well, he's 19 years old. So that is definitely you pay for potential and everything. But the thing is, they added that Manchester United had become the first club to enter an official offer for Portuguese. United already offered 51 million and they turned it down. There are reports that United might go in with another offer, an even bigger offer, so it remains to see what's going to happen. But despite the clear interest, it was reported that Benfica would entertain no offer which is less than 85 million pounds, which is way too much in my opinion. Obviously, at this age, you buy potential quite a bit as well. It's because he's proven himself in Benfica. Well, big whoop, he's proven himself in Portugal. Fabio Vieira had proven himself in Portugal, and where he's at Arsenal, he just sits on the bench and warms his spot there. So I'm not sure where it's gonna happen or not. I would say no. I wouldn't put my hopes at, and if I had a chance, I would not go for him. And this is the thing. Now, a fresh report from journalist Fabrizio Romano has added the Gunners' name in the mix of clubs keen on Neves. It came out of nowhere, but 100 million nearly to pay for this guy. I rather pay, let's just say 60 for David Luiz. Why am David Luiz? Why am I saying David Luiz? Douglas Luiz, that one. Douglas Luiz, and 25 million for Fofana. That together comes to the same amount as the Neves. Why we are even linked with him? 85 million. We can pay that for Osimhen even. I don't want Osimhen at the club. We can go for Gyökeres maybe, for Sesko, for Isak for that money, definitely. Why we are linked with this, I have no idea. Obviously, he would be young, another project player, but if you pay 85 to 100 million for him, he needs to set world on fire at Arsenal, just like Declan Rice did when we signed him from West Ham from 105 million. And do I see this happening? No chance in hell whatsoever. We've seen what's happened before with Enzo Fernandez, with João Felix, although I wouldn't mind actually taking João Felix at Arsenal in a way. But yeah, no chance. And it's understood that North London club scouts have been monitoring the midfielder for months along with United and City, but the message from Benfica is clear. 120 million euros, aka 102 million pounds. And Mikel Arteta will be aiming to add central midfielder obviously this summer, but definitely, if it was up to me, no chance in hell we should go for this Neves guy. João Neves, just no. But this is something I am fully behind. Arsenal received huge £80 million transfer boost amid Martin Zubimendi, Clarity and Joshua Kimmich Green. This is a big one. This is a big one because if I had a chance, I would take Kimmich at Arsenal. Zubimendi, I'm not too sure about, but Kimmich I definitely would take. And here it is. Mikel Arteta has been handed a huge update on two Arsenal's midfielder transfer targets. Thomas Partey is still expected to be sold this summer, and thus the Gunners are marketing to sign a replacement with one spot in Arteta's midfield very much open, because we don't have a DM, we don't have a player. Yes, you can chuck in Rice there for a few games, but then you need a left 8, and we don't have a left 8 as well to play there. So, here is the thing. In terms of options, Arsenal have been linked. Here we go. With Bruno Guimaraes, who looks like is most likely, if he moves, is going to City for 100 million. Douglas Luiz, which I would love to sign, wouldn't mind him coming to Arsenal, but it looks like he might be moving to Juventus to play for Thiago Motta. Amadou Onana, not sure how I feel about that. Strong, tall, has an engine on him. Passing needs some work, shooting needs some work, he's although tall, so it would be interesting to see how that develops, but again, 50-60 million from Everton, 100%. Yusuf Fofana, 25 million, why we haven't signed him yet? Why? And Martin Zubimendi. Zubimendi is the one I actually wouldn't want. Personally, I wouldn't want. With varying asking price for all six, it's seeming likely that the latter name, given the 60 million fees on his contract, quite especially allowing us as King to Gunners will not be spending big. Yes, there have been reports, but where is it? Here we go. Even with Arteta's admission, a too good to run down opportunity could be on the horizon with someone like Bayern Munich's Joshua Kimmich, and I would love Kimmich at Arsenal because of his contract situation, available for potentially as little as 30 million pounds. Now, it's from Mundo Deportivo, so you need to be a bit wary about the price and everything, but 30 million pounds for Kimmich. Are you dumb? For 55, 60 million, you can sign Fofana and Kimmich. You can sign both of them. And why it hasn't happened is just a joke. The German international alongside Zubimendi has been linked to Barcelona transfer. However, the club president, Juan Laporta, has now confirmed that neither are in the plans, which is a massive boost in this instance for Arsenal. I don't think we will go for big names, as well as we don't plan to sell our stars, Laporta said. We are looking for new winger and new midfielder. We also have our own talents who could cover those positions, which actually makes a lot of sense. And if we look at this, to be honest, it will find. Yeah, Joshua Kimmich, here we go. Here we go, 29, so he can still good 3 years into him, 4 years even potentially. Has played for Bayern Munich mostly and everything. Okay, current season stats, let's go check this out. He's valued at Transfermarkt for 50 million euros. Now, first things first, they said about 30 million. It is a possibility we would have to pay about 40. But again, 40 plus 25, 65 million for Fofana and Kimmich, 100% I would take that. Give me a second. And the big thing about all of this is Kimmich would definitely slot right in and definitely would improve our team massively. This season, 28 games, 1 goal, 7 assists. Champions League, 12 games, 1 goal, 2 assists, plus relegated Arsenal, plus scored against Arsenal and all that stuff. Don't forget about that. And everything. Where's the Champions League? See, he scored in 90 plus 2 minutes against Arsenal to win it all, basically. That's the thing. Well, not 90 plus 2, but he scored in 70 something minutes to win it against Arsenal. Plus they gave a hell of a game to Real Madrid as well with Kimmich in the squad. And that is the thing. Even though he's 29, the injury history isn't the worst one. He actually has pretty good injury history in that sense. Shoulder injury, he missed 2 games. Okay, cool. Ill. Not sure what that means, but okay, he missed 2. He missed 4 games last season. He missed 4 games last season. That already is a dub. Before that, muscular problems, didn't miss any games. Basically, year before that, 1 game with COVID, that's it. Genuinely, nothing. Before that, fitness, he missed 3 games. COVID again, he missed 4. Okay, quarantine, this is the rough time, which you cannot take that much into account. But overall, he is very durable. He doesn't get too injured, which for Arsenal's sake would be absolutely brilliant signing. Yes, it says right back here, don't get fooled. If you watch Bundesliga and you watch how they look, Kimmich plays right back / CDM, they rotate with Leimer and all that stuff. It's similar like Philip Lahm, right back CDM. And yeah, as you can see, he can play right back, central midfield, central defensive midfield, with his space that he doesn't have too much of it, but he still has it. And the fact that he can play in that DM role, I would be so hyped in a way if Arsenal went for him. Since he is available, allegedly, obviously, I wouldn't be against that one single bit. He still has it, yes, 29, 29, but 29 isn't the ideal age for Mikel Arteta, his process and all that stuff. But we are at a stage at Arsenal where this process and young stuff needs to stop. We need to sign quality, experience and proven players. And if we could sign Joshua Kimmich as a party replacement, definitely that would be a dub. Especially since he has a year left on his contract. We could get him for a semi-cut deal for even about 35-40 million, which allows us to have an extra 25 to 30 to spend on midfield. So technically for about 65 million, we can sign Kimmich plus Yusuf Fofana from Monaco. We could sign both of them, a starting player, a proper backup for that 6 role, which would open up legs arms, mind, everything for Declan Rice as that left 8. Definitely would open everything up. And mind you, if you need, let's just say Declan Rice gets too many yellows or red, Kimmich can play in that left 8 role. Genuinely, put Fofana as a 6, play Kimmich at that 8. Problem solved, definitely. Plus, we technically have Jorginho as well, and he actually did great again for Bayern. Goal and 7 assists in 28 games from deep-lying right back slash midfield position where he rotates with Limer. Absolutely good, and another time good. So if he's available, actually, as reports are saying that Barcelona have ditched their willingness, don't want to sign him anymore, why wouldn't Arsenal go for him? Why? Yes, it says the probability that he might be going to City. I don't see that if City go for Guimaraes for about 100 million release clauses from Newcastle. If they go for him, they don't need Kimmich. And we need Kimmich. So definitely, there is more arguments for than against for us to go and get Kimmich. 100%. And if Arsenal had any sense whatsoever, in my opinion, they definitely should go and try and sign him. Genuinely, let me know down in the chat and comments afterwards what do you think about this. Joshua Kimmich to Arsenal, would you take him? And moving on to Benjamin Sesko, never-ending saga it feels like. There were multiple talks about the fact that, here it is, that Arsenal are in pole position. Chelsea don't want to hijack, but it wasn't working. Apparently some other teams are interested. Then RB Leipzig are offering him a massively improved contract, squad role, but in the same contract allegedly there are clauses that he doesn't have release clauses, which at the end means that RB Leipzig have full power over the selling value, selling price of Benjamin Sesko. So at the moment, what Fabrizio Romano is saying on this instance about all of this is that Benjamin Sesko is taking some more days to decide his future. Now, good news for Arsenal are, at this stage, that there's still new contract from Proposal Leipzig. Okay, that is not good news. The second part. Meanwhile, Sesko said no to 30 million net salary from Saudi. Imagine, 21 years old, you go to Saudi, you get 30 million a year. So 30 million a year. Holy moly. But it looks like money isn't the main attraction for him. He just wants to play football. It would be very interesting to see what happens if Arsenal actually sign him, how Arteta envisions him in the team, with Kai Havertz playing that number 9 role and everything. Maybe they would play them both together with a lot of crosses, because Kai Havertz, since we crossed the ball quite a bit, Kai Havertz, despite his 6'4" height, feels like he is 5'10" when he jumps for the ball. He jumps up there, he has the strength as a fish, he gets shoved off the ball, he kind of jumps and just wobbles there, and then they clear the ball. However, with Benjamin Sesko, he is 6'5", and he has a massive jump ability, he has a massive leap on him, plus he is very good with heading the ball, which definitely would come in hand, especially if Arsenal could manage to do things properly and cross the ball properly to him. He also likes to sometimes run into box late. He likes to do give and goes, especially with Odegaard. I can definitely see that being a massive thing, especially if they play properly for each other. And he's a good finisher with both of his feet. I've seen how he finishes with left feet quite a bit, and he's a right-footed player. So basically, he doesn't have problems finishing with left foot, right foot, and with his head. So he definitely is a good player. The thing is, two things I don't like about him is the fact that he is another project player, and we don't know how good he would implement into Premier League, because he's tall, he's strong, and he's very quick on the ball, similar like Haaland. Like tall, strong, and when he gets into his stride, he feels like a train. Very, very similar. Compared to Haaland, he has more technical ability. Obviously, Haaland's a better finisher, but we're not going to compare him to Haaland. And the second thing I don't like about him is his decision making. Yes, I watched him play at times, and his decision making is very, very questionable. Very questionable on certain occasions. Yes, he's 21. Let's be real, Arteta can coach that into him in a way, if he actually wants to coach the players, because for me, this is Arteta's last season, for me, as an Arsenal fan, that I'm giving him. I'm already on very hard side of Arteta out because in 5 years he hasn't delivered us anything, nearly 5 years. And if he doesn't deliver this season, I'm gonna get on his case quite hardly. I'm not gonna lie, and I think many fans will. But overall, yeah, Sesko definitely that immaturity on that sometimes taking shots and making questionable passes is something he needs to get out. He needs to kind of improve on and remove from his system. It's similar like Gabriel's Bozo gene. It's still there, but it's on a much smaller scale than it used to be. So definitely that is something Sesko needs to work definitely on. But Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea all have approached since March and April. He's taking a few more days to kind of decide what's going to happen or not. He hasn't said yes to anyone. And the thing is, there are 4 teams into him. Obviously, RB Leipzig wants to extend his contract. There's Arsenal, Chelsea, and United. Biggest chance where he can go is Arsenal if he wants to come to a team where he has given every chance to succeed. If he goes for the money, he definitely is going Chelsea because his agent is gonna get massive agent fees, and that will be that because that's how they got Mudryk, because they offered a bit bigger lump of money. It's irrelevant, but the agent fees were much bigger and all that stuff. That's how they got Mudryk off us, and to be honest, thank God. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And despite all that, they're saying that Arsenal are in pole position, but I'm not sure it is the case. Obviously, all 4 teams have presented their plans and vision for him in the team, but at the same time, you need to sit there and think about it. Which suits him the best? Which of the sides suits him the best? United has a striker which still needs growing. It's Højlund. They don't need another project striker, technically. Chelsea has Cole Palmer, but he plays more right wing, technically. They have Action Jackson, who gets in scoring positions every single game and misses 70-80% of them. That is just a different story. They might actually go for that then. But yeah, it will be very interesting to see what Sesko says, because Arteta wants at least one of the deals done before the Euros start. And Euros begin in 9 days on Friday. So that definitely will be a very tall order for Edu in a way to try and finalize a deal, especially if he decides to go for Benjamin Sesko. So that will be in Edu's garden a rock if he doesn't do that what Arteta wants. So that definitely will be something they will have to discuss, look at, and decide upon. Now, one thing I want to check still. Are there any news? We don't need Barcelona here it is. Here's another article about this, by the way. I just talked about him, and here is another one. I think this is about Kimmich. Barcelona president now opens the door for Arsenal to sign a 51 million top target. He would be less, obviously, but it is. I think it is Arsenal. Yeah, it's Zubimendi, because Barcelona don't want him anymore, and but he doesn't want to leave Spain himself, I think. But it is what it is. It's Zubimendi, and he doesn't want to go for Kimmich as well. So they both are available. So definitely Arsenal should try and go for him. What else is here? Arsenal could have perfect chance to sign a 17-year-old by saying, 17-year-old, we don't need project players, man. Oh my god. Arsenal can sign Target for 50 million euros as a club job request, players like league. Is that Zubimendi again? It genuinely looks like from Mundo Deportivo reports that they should be dropping their interest in... Oh no, it's not. Wow. But the fact that Barcelona have dropped their interest in Zubimendi and Kimmich definitely will stir up the pot for Mikel Arteta and Edu in terms of trying to sign a proper player. A proper DM, a proper number 6, and definitely that will be very interesting to see if it develops and how it develops, because by the looks of things, it's gonna be a mad one. Because Arsenal have been linked for 5, 6 number 6s, and all of them are either going somewhere else, or there are other teams interested in them, and Arsenal are not in the front running in a way. It feels that way. So it will be definitely interesting to see. But Arsenal can sign Target for 50 million euros as club drop request. Arsenal can go and sign one of the best defenders in Portuguese league for 50 million this summer. It's Ousmane Diomande. Interesting. It technically is a backup for Saliba. We don't have that in the team. The outlet claims that Lions admit selling the player this summer as long as there is a good bid on the table. Yeah, the thing is, I read about it. It's 80 million release clauses. How the hell are we gonna play only 50 mil for him? What is this double-sided story? Diamante is protected by 80 million release clauses, but since the initial approaches showed clubs weren't keen on going so close to that. Well, to be fair play. Yeah, I definitely don't. I can see that. They've now set a new price of 50 million. That is actually hella cheap. I won't say hella cheap, but quite cheap because he's one of the most exciting young center backs in Europe at the moment. So definitely. And Koreman points out that Arsenal interest is nothing new, with the chase gaining more strength with reports from English media lately. Obviously, English media are hype and PR merchants, so don't take that for granted. But I'm not sure who I would rather have. Gonzalo Inacio, the Portuguese center back, who is also linked more with Liverpool at the moment, or Diomande. That is very interesting, although I think Inacio is more left-sided center back if I'm not mistaken. Diomande may have had ups and downs this season, but Sporting's title means a lot. Yeah, Sporting won a title, and that's probably why he's selected in the Portuguese best 11 by coaches and captains. That's a massive honor in a way, to be honest. And what are revealed today as the league's social media accounts are revealing name, basically each by name. For now, we don't know who other center back will be, and there's good chance that his partner Gonçalo Inacio. Here it is. Here is the Portuguese center back, and I wouldn't mind if Arsenal signed any of them. They, especially Inacio, played against Arsenal before when we played against Sporting, and he actually did very, very good. I wouldn't mind that. But Inacio is more linked with Liverpool, from what I have heard and read. So definitely Diomande is on the table. But obviously Arsenal are not the only ones that are in for Diomande. I think there's one from Premier League, or two more clubs from Premier League. I think there was PSG as well and someone else. There are quite a bit of clubs interested in Diomande, so definitely that will be a very, very, very interesting to see how that goes. I wanted to talk to you about Julian Alvarez. Now that is a big one, to be honest, because today it came out. Where is it? Here. Julian Alvarez now very likely to leave Manchester City. 3 European giants interested as price tag is set. Basically, it came out, I think it was late last night. You can't see it properly. Wait, let me fix this big. No, I'm just gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna fix this. Sorry. Basically, it was all about the fact that Alvarez went to Pep Guardiola and said, "Please let me play for Argentina in," I think it was the Olympics or in Copa America, because he doesn't give him enough playtime in Premier League for City, obviously because Haaland plays there. And the Argentinian international has in very likely to see Man City having joined the club from River Plate. Oh man, if we only could have signed him, then going to claim historic treble at the first time asking. Here it is. Well, the first campaign often saw Alvarez play backup for Erling Haaland. Despite recording commendable number of appearances in the process, the now 24-year-old took on plenty more responsibility during the last season, which is obviously with KDB being injured, Haaland being injured, definitely he had to rise up to the challenge, which is obviously absolute massive expectation. And saw Pep call upon Alvarez to occupy the attacking midfield role responsibilities alongside Phil Foden, and got great deal of success too. He scored quite a bit of goals. He looked very in place and very in the rhythm, so it definitely was good. And according to the information of Argentine journalist Hernan Castillo, it is now very likely that Julian Alvarez will leave Premier League champions Manchester City, but not to La Liga's Atletico Madrid. According to a report on Tuesday, yes, he was linked to move to Atletico Madrid, especially the fact that the pie is not there anymore, and then I think also Griezmann is very cheap at the moment, so they're kind of preparing for again the generational change that Griezmann might leave, and they need a proper player again. And there's the report goes to claim that Alvarez Manchester City exit would be to a bigger exit with a bigger club than Atletico Madrid. Okay, I thought bigger club than City, with the European game to follow up reporting signings. Just as per information since Tommy Hairdo, Julian Alvarez has bigger clubs than Atletico Madrid wanting him to. Yeah, please say Arsenal. Those clubs are said to include PSG, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, while it is said to be likely that Manchester City will cash in if someone offers transfer fee, £80 million. So that is a very, very, very high price. Very high price. To be honest, I can't deal with this. Let me fix this for you very quickly. 80 million price tag. 80 million price tag is a very, very steep price. But PSG just lost Mbappe. They definitely have the money to sign Alvarez. And with the kind of rebuild they're going with, Neymar just being bygones, Messi bygones, Mbappe now bygones, they definitely need a proper team now. They need to play as a team, not as rely pretty much on one single individual. So PSG definitely could be in a driving seat. Real Madrid just got Mbappe, and they just signed Joselo. So why the hell they would need Alvarez? They are pretty much stacked in every single position with 3-4 players. And Bayern Munich, they have Harry Kane, they have Mathys Tel. Unless they play him on a wing for Gnabry, Sané backup, Coman is injured, maybe that's why. But 80 million is a very, very tall order, so not sure whether what's gonna happen with him or not. But yeah, on this note that Alvarez is on the market, and if Arsenal would pay 80 million for him, I wouldn't be against that. Yes, I said that I don't want any Manchester City ex-players like we signed Jesus and Zinchenko. Julian Alvarez would be in a category of a whole different story. But yeah, for today, that will be it from me. Let me know down in comments below by now. What do you think? Would you take Kimmich at Arsenal? Would you take Zubimendi at Arsenal? Would you take Julian Alvarez if he was available at Arsenal? And what do you think about Manchester City suing the Premier League? Let me know that now down in comments below. Take care, stay safe, and see you all tomorrow.